Welcome everyone to Next Talks, and today's guest is a very inspiring pharma leader. Pleased to welcome Doina Ionescu from Merck. Doina, first question and the toughest one, how are you doing?
I'm very good, Dario. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for the invitation.
Likewise, and let's proceed with a question deck which we prepared for you. And the first question would be, can you tell me about your career journey and what motivated you to work in the pharma industry?
Yes, absolutely. I'm actually a physicist by training. I started my career back in the day as a scientist in a research institute. My background is in nuclear physics, but 35 years ago, an event happened in my life, and that kind of changed my approach to any sort of career ambition I had at the time. I did have a passion for nuclear physics. 35 years ago, however, sadly, my father passed away. He died with cancer. And the direct link in the day was between the Chernobyl explosion that happened a few years before and the disease that horrible disease that he had. I think on his deathbed, he actually asked me to give up on nuclear physics. And I didn't think about it twice. Obviously, I've given it up because I subconsciously made that connection myself. Subconsciously at the time, I think I wanted to work in an industry that offer people help and chance and hope, because my dad at the time, he hadn't had any of these. The treatments were very basic. I remember he had radiotherapy. Chemotherapy wasn't even widely available in Romania at the time, in the communist Romania of the time. So that subconscious influence, I think, led me to who I am here today. It wouldn't be right of me to say that it was a conscious decision. However, fast forward 25 years, I am in the pharmaceutical industry with a clear focus on extending, prolonging, and creating lives. And I'm happy to say that Merck has an active interest and is doing a lot of research, driving innovation in the area of oncology. And my focus, my passion to help patients, to offer hope and help is really embedded in the company's ambition and in the company's value.
Thanks a lot, Doina. Very inspiring, and you can really hear the purpose of the existence which you can't hear so often, to be honest and frank. Next question: what are your leadership principles, and how were they shaped in the past? Maybe which people or moments have been your biggest influences?
I think if I look back, I always see the positive in everything. I always see that my glass is half full. So my managers along the way, they really helped me to develop into the person I am today. They're all inspirational, but then again, as a person, I think I'm open to seeing inspiration all around me. And I was inspired by my managers as I was inspired by my direct reports. In my 25 years in the industry, I learned to value some of the qualities that I think are paramount to what I call a good leader. I think it's very important that a leader is authentic, is self-aware, is consistent and predictable. Listening skills, I believe, are really important, because when people feel that they are listened to, listen to understand rather than to respond, it really brings out the best in them. And that's my experience with teams and team dynamics along the way.
Thanks a lot. Next question, which really I would say is one of my favorite one, since you're coming from Romania, which is historically having the very same background like Croatia, if I can say so. And nowadays you are working and living in UK. So what are your key learnings from working and living in different markets across Europe?
I started off my career journey as Romanian, as a Romanian in the UK. And I think nowadays I call myself European, and I do consider the UK European. What I learned through my various experience in Germany, UK, Southeast Europe, Romania, was to value some of the human traits that to me are extremely important. I learned that wherever you are, in whatever country you are, it's always about the people that come along with you on the journey. I value honesty and I value kindness. I also developed resilience, flexibility, pragmatism. I think moving from one country to the other, maybe having a different job every 2 years, really going across borders and taking my family with me on the journey was the greatest testament to building flexibility and resilience. No matter where I went, my focus remained on people. My focus remained on helping patients. And because I am a physicist, the framework, the qualities I believe that I developed in the early days that really helped me along the way were being logical, analytical, and finding solutions to everything that life throws at you.
Thanks a lot. Next question. What are your priority areas of focus at Merck, and how have your personal and professional experiences influenced these?
I always had a dream job, and the dream job was to lead the UK and Ireland organization. And I really value the UK environment because it's complex, it's challenging. It's the environment that I feel that I grow in every day, and I follow the development path that I want to have. Having said that, in the UK, in terms of health economics, my passion is really on transforming the patient pathways and drive more personalized healthcare in an environment where the public-private collaboration prevails. And if I take my own experience, I think patients that are empowered, that have the knowledge to share into the decision-making and to the possible extent self-manage the conditions are in a much better place personally. Therefore, the outcome of the treatments is better, and also they can relieve the pressure that is on healthcare systems.
Next question, and the last one in this block, is why is personalized healthcare so important, and how can it help patients and healthcare systems worldwide?
The UK has the ambition to be the life science superpower. And if I put that into the context of personalized healthcare, I think there are great parameters that the country can build on. I think UK is in a wonderful position to build on an important ingredient to the personalized healthcare concept, and that is the genomics testing. Because the genomics testing enables patients to have access to individualized medicines that are all evidence-based, and that's number one ingredient. Number two ingredient, in my understanding, to personalized healthcare is about sharing into the decision-making together with the clinicians once the available treatments are displayed and understood, and the patient has an active role in what is the best treatment suited for the personal circumstances based on testing and individualized medicines. And the third ingredient is the shared, the supported self-management. So for chronic diseases in particular, I think having the understanding of the supported self-management is really important, because people can take that into their own hands and really control parameters such as adherence, or having the day off when you have to take a different stance on the how you manage your day. I think all of these are important to the supportive self-management. And if we look at some stats in the UK, an NHS study has shown that people that manage their own health conditions have 38% fewer emergency appointments. They also have 32% fewer attendances to the accident and emergency wards, and they also have 18% fewer general practice appointments. So all of these is a saving in time for the patient, and it's actually a relief on the system, on the NHS system. Having said all this, at Merck, we have already worked with the Neurology Academy to create a webinar series that is training healthcare professionals to embed supportive self-management into their practice. And that's really a great achievement. Having that learning, we have taken it further, and we want to develop a framework at Merck that goes across therapeutic areas, and we reach out in other dimensions that benefits from the supportive self-management as a framework.
Thanks a lot, Doina. Very, very inspiring. And let's move forward to the next question block, which are the quick fire questions. Here we will just simply ask a question and we would appreciate a very short answer. And the first one is your favorite musician.
That would be David Bowie.
Oh, fantastic. I would say the same, frankly speaking. Yeah. By the way, have you watched the documentary which was released last year, I think so, Moon Age Daydream?
No, I haven't, but I think with David Bowie, I pretty much listen to everything and I watch everything. So I will look it up.
Absolutely, that's really fascinating. I would definitely advise that. Next question, best day of your life?
That would be the day that I gave birth to my daughter.
Very nice. Most inspiring historical person?
I'm a physicist, so I'm afraid I will say all the time that's Albert Einstein.
Very interesting. Bill Gates or Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs.
Okay, that's a good answer. Last book which you read?
Last book which I read, To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee.
Interesting. And favorite global leader?
I will have to say that is the Queen, Elizabeth II.
Interesting.
Because she was predictable, she was consistent, she had a lot of qualities that I value greatly in a leader.
Thanks a lot, Doina. It was really a very inspiring and respectful interview today, and looking forward to meeting you next year at our next event in Dubrovnik.
Thank you so much, Dario. A pleasure to meet you. Have a nice day.